Welcome to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio right here on AM 920. The Answer. In this segment, you're going to get my thoughts on the Metro Atlanta real estate market. What are the opportunities out there for sellers? What are the opportunities for buyers? In our Something You Should Know About Atlanta, we're going to talk about how Atlanta ranks with other cities throughout the United States in terms of the desirability to retire in Atlanta. And was it y'all, Y apostrophe A-L-L, or Y-A apostrophe L-L, part of your vocabulary growing up? Again, I want to welcome you to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. My name is Cleve Gaddis. On this show, our mission is really simple. It's to help you go from real estate novice to expert, so buying and selling a home can be done with total confidence and without all the fear, the confusion, the second guessing that often comes with life's biggest investments. It is a big deal. And this is really just isn't about only real estate. It's about making smarter decisions for you and your family and your future. If you've got a question or you have a comment or even a challenge, we want to hear from you. Go to gogaddisradio.com. That's GOGADDIS radio.com, gogaddisradio.com. And while you're there, you can push back, you can challenge things we say, you can share your ideas, you can request us to do some research on your neighborhood and include your neighborhood in our neighborhood spotlight, and you can subscribe to our podcast or to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode or a short. Let's jump into my thoughts on the Metro Atlanta real estate market. 2025 is shaping up to be the lowest, and this is national, this is for the United States, but shaping up to be the least number of closings in 30 years. Last year, I believe we were at 4.2 million real estate closings. This does not include the new construction, or I don't think it does, for 2024. And in 2025, my guess is we might be just a little under 4 million. It's a big, big deal. So what does that mean? Does that mean it's a terrible time to sell a house? No. Does it mean it's a terrible time to buy a house? No. I think the reality is that buyers right now today will find more opportunities in the market. Buyers will find sellers who are way more willing to negotiate today than they would have a couple of years ago. And I would imagine way more motivated today than they will be 6 months from now or a year from now. If you have been paying attention to the news over the last few days and few weeks, we're starting to see signs of the economy softening. Unemployment is on the rise. Our inflation rate is still a little too high. It's supposed to be, the Federal Reserve is supposed to keep it around 2%. They're supposed to keep full employment, and I don't know what that number is, 97% employment or something like that. And they're supposed to use those two measures to understand whether or not they need to stimulate growth in the economy or they need to restrict growth in the economy. And there are a few signs. In fact, I think one of the rating agencies, maybe Moody's, has now, I believe, officially said that the U.S. is in a recession. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that was something that came out over the last few days. Now, does that mean we need to be careful because we're going to have a real estate market crash? I say absolutely not. Now, are foreclosures on the rise? Yes. But they are still so far below where they were in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 during the Great Recession that it's really not even fair for comparison. The reality is that mortgage market in the United States, as long as delinquencies and foreclosures stay under 1%, the market is fairly well in balance, and we're significantly below that. I think at one time we had gotten up to where there was about 4% of all active mortgages, outstanding mortgages in foreclosure in the United States of America during the Great Recession. So if you are a buyer, might find some really good opportunities. Is it worthwhile for you to go out and buy a home even at today's interest rates? I know I make my living selling homes, and so you might look at it and say, well, that's just his perspective, but I still think it is a good time for a buyer to buy a house, even if you have to pay an interest rate that's a little bit higher. because I think properties are going to continue to appreciate, although more slowly than they appreciated from 2000 to 2005, for sure. We had some significant, probably 35% market appreciation, maybe even 40 in a lot of areas from 2020 to 2025. I think it's going to happen more slowly, so maybe properties are appreciating at 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever, so they're going up in value every year. And my guess is that employment continues to be soft, and if there's word that we are in a recession, we might see some of the prices we're paying for different things coming down. So if we can get the things that the Federal Reserve is looking for in terms of the economy, really easy for me to say, they can get inflation down around 2%, and if the employment picture continues to worsen, then my guess is the Federal Reserve is going to continue to have to take action to encourage more investment. They do that by decreasing the Fed funds rate. When they do that, that changes the amount of interest that is charged between banks for overnight lending, and ultimately that creeps its way into credit cards, into auto financing. It doesn't directly affect the mortgage market, but generally as the Federal Reserve starts to ease the Fed funds rate, generally you'll see mortgage rates come down kind of in tandem. They are typically based more on the 10-year Treasury bond yield than on the Fed funds rate, but they typically go hand in hand. And so if you're a buyer, I think they're good opportunities. If you're on the fence, I say get out and take a look at some properties. And if you're interested and you want to work with Modern Traditions Realty Group, which is my real estate company, we use a process called the Sure Home Buying System. It's a 71-step process, start to finish, to make sure you are fully educated on everything you need to know before you make any important decisions when buying or selling a home. We are the only provider of that in the state of Georgia. Now, if you are a home seller, do I think that it is a good time to sell? Well, it would have been better if you'd have sold a couple of years ago, but if you need to sell and you want to take advantage of the fact that you have the opportunity to go out and buy a home without competing with 12 to 15 other buyers, which you would have had to have done in late 2020, 2021, then now might be a great time. Just remember, location, condition, pricing, and marketing, and all four of those things need to be right. I know you can't change the location, but you can change what the property looks like, what the properties around it look like, whether or not they're kept up and cleaned up and stuff like that. We're getting ready to list a home, and the neighbor parks a van outside all the time, and I will be offering that neighbor an incentive to move that van and to have it somewhere else while the property is being listed, and hopefully they would even, keep it away over time. But so that's location. Then you've got condition, and you know what that means. If a house looks like it was redone in 2025, it's worth more than one that looks like it was done in 2010 or maybe 1987. Pricing, you got to have it priced correctly. That does not mean that you have to price it low. It means you have to price it correctly. And then your marketing. Are you doing all the things to attract attention? So is it worth it for a seller? Yep. If you need to sell it, I would jump in. Is it worth it for a buyer? Yes. Probably one of the better markets in quite some time. So those are my thoughts on the Metro Atlanta residential real estate market right now. If you have questions or want more information, just call us 770-497-0000. We believe everybody should know all the cool things there are to do and about Atlanta. And believe it or not, Atlanta was recently named in the top cities for retirees. According to a new study from Wallet Hub, using data from the U.S. Census Bureau, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and other sources, the finance company ranked over 180 U.S. cities across 45 key metrics like infrastructure, tax cost, and attractions, and Atlanta placed number 6 behind Scottsdale, Arizona, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Miami, Florida, Tampa, Florida, and Orlando, Florida. So it was Orlando, Tampa, Miami, Minneapolis, Scottsdale, and then Atlanta. And the thing that really helped Atlanta shine was an abundance of senior-friendly activities that tied with Washington, D.C., San Francisco, California, St. Louis, and Missouri for the most museums per capita. So that's a great little feather in Atlanta's cap. What's the difference between y'all, Y apostrophe A-L-L, and y'all, Y-A apostrophe L-L? Well, it's really simple. The South is known for its laundry list of unique and quirky cultural sayings like bless your heart, which doesn't really mean that. Too big for his britches, the best known word in the Southern vernacular, is probably our most loved pronoun, y'all. A contraction of you and all is what forms y'all. And the way to spell it is Y-A-L-L. This familiar pronoun is even included in the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, which is a trusted go-to source for Southern living copy editors. Y-A apostrophe L-L is incorrect in a misspelling of the word, so I say don't use it. If you are looking to sell your home anytime in the next year, we want you to get the upside. The reality is there are multiple ways to sell a home in today's market. All cash, close quickly, sell it as is, where is, no repairs, make some improvements to the property so you can get the highest sales price you possibly can, or possibly buy your new home with borrowed funds until you can sell your existing home, which a lot of people need to do. And we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to choose what is the upside, which one of those is best for your family and your situation. We can help you with an all-cash offer. We can help you with some money to improve your property so that you can sell it for more and keep all of the difference. We can help you get the money to buy your new property before you sell your existing property. It's called The Upside. Go to gogaddisradio.com, click on The Upside, put in a little information. We'll reach out to you, and I'll cover the entire program with you. This first segment of the show is brought to you by the law firm of O'Kelly and Sorahan. They're a full-service law firm with 30 offices throughout Metro Atlanta. They specialize in residential real estate closings, including home purchases, refinance closings, corporate relocation, and real estate contract review and title insurance matters. They can be reached by calling 770-497-1880, 770-497-1880. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, MV Realty's Homeowner Benefit Program. Is it a good program for quick cash, or is it a costly trap? Stick with us. We'll be back.